Hello and welcome to London Heathrow here at Terminal 2, the Queen's Terminal. And today we're going to see what it's like to fly on SkyTrax, a 5-star airline in Europe. Today's flight is London Heathrow to Munich Airport in business class on Lufthansa flight 2479. After arriving by train, I made my way over to the check-in area to drop off my bags. It was great to see that the terminal was getting more busier, and after COVID, passenger numbers were on the rise. After smoothly passing through security, I made my way over to the departure board to have a look on the status of my flight. LH2479 takes off at 5:50 and reaches a cruising altitude of 37,000 feet. It passes through Brussels, then Frankfurt, then down into Munich. Flight time today is 1 hour and 20 minutes. Now let's talk about why I called this a 5-star business class flight. The reason is back in 2017, Lufthansa was awarded the SkyTrax 5-star rating, and this is the only airline in Europe which has been rated 5 stars. What's more interesting is the fact that on SkyTrax's website, the public reviews are rather different. So I wanted to see which one was correct, the public review or the SkyTrax official review. But before we continue, let me ask you one question. Are you a 14%er or an 86%er? Only 14% of my viewers have hit that subscribe button, so please don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button to let YouTube know that this is a good video and more people should be able to see it. Terminal 2 is the newest terminal to Heathrow Airport. This was the first time I travelled through this new terminal, and I have to say I was hugely impressed. It has to be one of my favourite here at London Heathrow. It was bright and spacious, and it was very clear for directions. Terminal 2 has 2 buildings, Terminal 2A and Terminal 2B. My flight today was scheduled to take off from Terminal 2A. So I made my way over to the Lufthansa lounge, which was located near the A gates. Lufthansa's business class lounge was pretty spacious. It had loads of seating areas that you could choose from and a good area to get some work done as well. My business class ticket allowed me access to the lounge. However, if you were a Lufthansa first class passenger or a Star Alliance Gold Card member, you would be able to get access to the Senator Lounge, which was located inside this lounge. Being an avid plane spotter, there was only one location I was going to choose in this lounge, and that was by the window in order to get the best views of the airport. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case because there was these horrible bars restricting your view. Settled in, it was time to get some food and drink. Lufthansa's business class lounge has a pretty basic offering. There's a bit of beer, some soft drinks, water, the essentials, but it didn't really wow me, and I was a bit disappointed really. I mean, this is supposed to be a 5-star airline, and when you go to other airline lounges like Singapore or Qatar, there's a lot more on offer, because that's really the competition level that they're at with this 5-star rating. That being said, I must say that the bowl of soup and the accompanying bread was pretty tasty. After finishing that off, it was time to board my flight, and today's gate was actually a change because it was now in a B gate. So I made my way over to B46. And there she is, the Airbus A320 Neo, delivered to Lufthansa in 2019. It wasn't long before we were called for boarding, and I must say it was a little bit confusing. It seemed rather messy and no one really knew what they were doing. For example, when we were called, no one actually told us what group was boarding first, and it caused a lot of confusion with fellow passengers. Eventually though, I was past the gate and on my way to boarding the plane.
Hiya. 5X? Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Like with most A320, the seat configuration was a free configuration, with business class seats with extra legroom. There was also a curtain divider between business class and economy. Today's seat was 5F. The seat itself was pretty decent. It was a standard European seat, however it had loads of legroom and was pretty comfortable for a less than 2 hour flight. Today's flight wasn't completely full, which meant I had a row to myself. It wasn't long before the plane was boarded and we had started to push back. Is it me or is anyone else a massive fan of a engine startup? Let me know in the comments.
Secure by pulling it down the elastic strap, and help any children and people who require assistance. Bitte werfen Sie noch einen Blick in die Informationskarte mit allen Sicherheitshinweisen. Diese befindet sich in Ihrer Sitztasche. Dort finden Sie auch die Anleitung zur Schutzhaltung, zu der Sie im Falle einer Notlandung aufgefordert werden könnten. Sehen Sie sich besonders die Lage der Notausgänge ein. Sie sind entsprechend gekennzeichnet und Leuchtstreifen im Boden zeigen Ihnen den Weg dorthin. Bitte beachten Sie, dass sich der nächstgelegene Notausgang auch hinter Ihnen befinden kann. Bei einer Evakuierung lassen Sie bitte Ihre Gepäckstücke zurück. Das Rauchen ist an Bord nicht erlaubt. Please now have a look at the information card in the seat pocket in front of you, which explains the safety instructions. This card also includes an illustration for the safety position which you may have to adopt in the event of an emergency landing. Please take particular note of the location of the emergency exit. They are marked accordingly, and illuminated strips on the floor will guide you to this exit. Remember,
now that we're in the air, let's have a good look at the seat. In the seat pocket in front you'll find an onboard menu and also a safety card. Note that the onboard menu is mainly for economy passengers. There's a coat hook on each of the seats in front of you and a handy little storage compartment at the front. Like most European airlines, Lufthansa leaves the middle seat empty. Even though I'm in business class, the seats are exactly the same as economy class. They are the slimline seat which you'll generally find on European airlines. The seat itself is pretty comfortable for the duration of the flight. Not long after takeoff, the crew came round with the in-flight meal service. Whilst messing about with the tray table, I noticed that the sit bag had either some bite marks or something missing with it. Who knows, maybe the passenger before me was rather hungry. The only thing is, it clearly shows that hasn't been checked. But I needn't have to worry because the food service was pretty good. Today it was a salad with some warm bread. For dessert, a very nice raspberry cake, washed down with some vodka and coke. Not long after clearing my plate, the friendly Lufthansa crew came round and asked if I wanted anything else. They offered me a cup of tea, and who was I to say no to that? Being British, I am a stickler for a good cup of tea, and find that in the air it's quite rare. Sorry Lufthansa, that wasn't the case, because you're not doing anything with this one. British Airways, you're still the king of the teas in the air. Flying tip: if you're travelling with an iPad or a tablet and you've got one of those flip over cases, you can tuck the case into the back of where the literacy pocket is, making you feel like you've got an in-flight entertainment screen in front of you. Just above your seat you'll find the air vents and the reading light, pretty standard across all Airbus A320s. The sun had set and we were descending into Munich airport. This short little flight was more or less done. And there you have it, our flight was over. But I really started to question, did this really feel like a 5-star airline? And did it justify it? Well, personally for me, it just didn't. Okay, let me get one thing very clear here. This is a decent flight, and I would give it a 4 stars. But is it really a 5-star flight on the likes of Qatar or others?
Thank you. Bye.
Now granted, this is a European flight and the quality of the actual flight is a lot different to a long haul flight. But when you look around, there's not much difference here, and you would expect a lot different when it comes to comparing, say, this to Air France or British Airways or the other major carriers, and there isn't. That's it, they're doing exactly the same thing. So the question has to be, why is this a SkyTrax 5-star airline? Now for the price itself, it wasn't bad. I paid just over £130 for business class flight, which isn't a lot at all for business class. But this flight can go up to £170, which really questions, why would you pay that? Nevertheless, the crew were fantastic and it was a pleasant flight to be on. If it wasn't at a decent price, I probably wouldn't have chosen to go on it. So there you have it, that was our flight review of a 5-star European airline. Thank you very much for joining us on today's flight. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you liked that video, hit the like, it will help YouTube tell others it was a good video and others should watch it. Thank you ever so much guys for joining us. Till the next time, goodbye.